Hi there. I'm Lauren with Posh Glitter, and if the live is not in the corner when you're watching this, then I'm no longer live. I put a quick little blurb on earlier about a coffee tumbler that I was going to do, and I actually just got done epoxying a couple tumblers, and I had some leftovers, so I figured that I would just jump on in and share with you the coffee mug tumbler, because I know a lot of people ask questions about how they get the glitter applied to the handle of their tumblers and go from there. So I've got a plethora of glitters that I'm going to use. One video that I attached was this one that I did, and I was just playing with a bunch of new stuff. So I'm gonna do the start to finish. This was a glitter swirl and dipped, and then it's homeless. So because I was just playing, and I don't know what I'm gonna put on it, but so we'll start with that. These are so fun. They're so unique because not any two tumbler, of course, is going to be the same when you're adding dipping and micas and glitter and all of the good stuff to it. So I am going to just get started. I have my coffee mug that I painted. Hopefully you can see. I started with a navy base just because I'm going with darker colors, and I have my epoxy sitting in its toasty warm bath, so it's ready to go. And I just apply the epoxy just like you do any other tumbler. And usually whenever you're using a fine glitter, then you would apply a thin amount to it. But when I'm doing swirls and using chunky and fine, I just like to get it good and covered and not spare any part with a little thin layer of epoxy to it. So I just get it all on. And with the handle, whenever it comes around, the two steps, especially if you're doing a white glitter, you want to make sure that you first, of course, spray paint your base, and you get here in the grooves underneath the handle, on the inside and on the underneath. That's where I've seen a lot of people miss those spots. So the bare silver shows through the white, which is not how it's supposed to be. So you just want to make sure that you spray those parts really good, and then when you're applying your epoxy, you just focus on the handle to make sure that you don't see any bare spots. And I'm doing the full all over base. I really only like to leave the naked 30s and 20s for those that accidentally drop and they don't the design doesn't get cracked. But on these, and these are a big seller for fall time, winter time, especially if you're doing a lot of craft shows. Everyone loves the coffee mugs. So I'm just going inside of the handle and in the grooves, making sure that I've gotten the whole handle covered. And if you hear beeping, There is a smoke detector that has been packed away in a box. It must be there. It had to have been there for at least 4 years. And I guess the battery just decided to start dying. I can't find the thing. It's literally driving me crazy. One of my dogs can't even be downstairs because he starts throwing a fit. He's like the little watchman. But if you hear a beeping, that's what it is. And I have checked every single smoke alarm that I can get my hands on, and it's none of them. I've replaced all the batteries. But the one in the box, that one is gonna drive me to the crazy bin. So hopefully the battery just dies really quick. It's been going on for about a week now. Okay, and have y'all heard about cheek glitters, by the way? I'm just gonna touch on this subject because this is one that drives me crazy. But, so cheek glitters, there's no such thing as a cheek glitter. This right here, they wanted which we did have a Tiffany glitter not too long ago. And unfortunately our supplier wasn't consistent with the color tones. So we had to discontinue it. But a Tiffany blue, I painted my base and then I applied a white glitter on top of it. So, I mean, if that's cheating, then I guess it's cheating, but somebody likes to talk about this cheat glitter and there isn't any big surprise behind it. So FYI, if you're needing to find a color and you're not able to, which if anybody is requesting something, we usually definitely always order whatever somebody is looking for. So that's enough with that. But on this base, I have chosen Desert Gold, Hollow Fine. I like to switch up my, when I put a chunky down, then I'll usually put a fine right next to it. I have Cloud 9. I have Golden Orange. I have Cocoa. Fall Blue Moon. And Gold Digger. I also have Snowflake Chunk. So I'm just gonna, whenever I do swirls, especially when I do the dipping, when I get to that part, I just like putting whatever down on the base because some of it gets covered up whenever you're doing your dipping of choice colors. I'm just gonna wipe my hand off real quick. So I start with, what am I gonna start with? I'll start with the Gold Digger. And move these out of the way. Hi, Jayla. Hi, Brandy. I'm watching. I'm seeing comments now. And so I'll just tap down to get a little bit of the color or my glitter on the bottom, but I will show you how everything looks after I get it all on there. So I just used Gold Digger, which is our chunky gold mix. And I think that I'm gonna go with the Cocoa next. And when I do the swirls, I kind of like to get colors that don't even necessarily match really, that are, I mean, they'll play a part in the end because that's what I base my dipping paint off of. But like with this one that I did, I just threw some orange into it and I really didn't have any orange. Well, I had pumpkin spice is one of the parts, but I really liked how the orange, it all comes together in the end. So I'm just gonna tap a little bit on the bottom and then dump it back in the jar. Gold Digger, if you have not tried Gold Digger in real life, it is so fun. Okay, what did I do? I did a find, so I'm gonna do golden orange. And I really don't have any, I mean, I have my colors kind of in my head when I'm thinking about doing something, but I don't have any specific place where anything's placed, or any rhyme or reason as to where it goes. I just kind of toss it on. And you can choose any color base that you'd like. I just went with a little bit with the darker. I'm just really feeling the navies and fall colors right now. Which I am gonna do Blue Moon right next to the Gold Digger. Do Cloud 9 right next to the Blue Moon. And Cloud 9 is so fun to play with on different color bases because it just throws different colors. It's really fun on a black base. I think I did a lot of Halloween wine tumblers last Halloween season that had Cloud 9 on it. Over a black base. And let's see. You know what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to add some Snow White Fine. And I have the chunk. And the chunk is one of my favorites. I'm a sucker for whites, especially Cristal. And Snow White White is a white that throws a silver. So our Cristal throws a rainbow. Our Chantilly throws like a pinker tint. And Cloud 9 is like a shift. And then there is Pure White, which throws nothing. It is just pure white. But Snow White, I haven't used that on a dark base, so this is the first. And I kind of like it. And I think I'm going to go with Fall, Y'all. And I'm not really picky if some lands on the handle because I just want it to be all mixed up anyways. Okay, and let's do some desert gold. And I think I'm going to put that right next to the folial. And when you're doing the coffee mugs, you want to make sure you kind of have to maneuver yourself around. I'm just going to do the whole around the tumbler handle parts with the desert gold. Because I kind of want to stick, I don't want to really do the chunky on the handle. I mean, I do some chunky, but sometimes if you get a little carried away with the chunkies around the handle, then you end up having to use quite a few bits or layers of epoxy. So I'm going to do, this is wedding, and this is our like champagne colored mixed chunk. And I think that I am doing some of the Snow White chunk, and that just went everywhere. Let's see. And with this, I just tap it on. I don't really dump it because this is one where you're gonna have to, the Snow White chunk, you're definitely gonna have to tap down the little guys to get them in their place. But I also like some of the navy that's gonna show through. And I really like how the Snow White chunk looks after it's dipped. It gives it like a different visual effect of some sort. I don't really know how to explain it. And let's see, I think I'm gonna add some Snow White Fine and maybe a dash of Cloud 9 to the handle. And I just want to make sure that I get all of the little areas covered. And then I think I'm going to do that last piece there with a little more cocoa. Come on around. And then usually any spots that may need a little dash of something, I will throw some Cristal over it, or Cloud9. I alternate. Let's see, where did my... So I'm going to put a little bit over the chunky Snow White, and then I'm just going to sprinkle it just for a little extra bling. So then after you've had everything on, you just want to, especially over your chunkies, the key to your chunkies, so you're not sanding for days, is around the lid of your tumbler. You want to just push everything down just a dab. A little dab, because you don't want to really mess with your edges of your tumbler, especially where the lid goes. That's the seal to your tumbler. So if you don't do that right, then of course people have broken seals and their glitter is a mess and their tumblers don't last. But with the chunkies, you just push those down, because this is going to save you a lot of hassle in the long run. So anything, you just tap it, and you don't push hard or anything, but you're just tapping it down, especially the handle if you have any chunkies on there. And a lot of it also depends on what type of epoxy you use, because if you're using one that's a little thicker consistency, then that saves you a lot of time as well. Okay, so this is my first step, and then while you're tapping, if you notice a couple little spots, you can take whatever, what did I just see? I saw something that needed a little touch. The Snow White. I'm going to put a little Cloud9 over it. And then I had a little bit of gold digger down here right on the bottom that needed a little extra love, so I'm going to put some desert gold. And then I will move you around and show you what it looks like without touching any of my other tumblers. Okay, bear with me here. Okay, so this is what we have. Desert gold, the Snow White, there's Cloud9. See how it does that little shift? It's fun on anything. We do have Shattered Cristal Brandy. Unfortunately, I am not using that today. Maybe a different day. But here's, this is the little Cristal over a light blue base. Anyone who hasn't seen Razzle Dazzle, this is Starlight on the bottom. And that's what we got. So this is all for part one. I will follow up the process with the next step at another time. Thank you guys for visiting us this Saturday night, and have a great rest of your weekend. See you later. Bye-bye.